friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. I just quickly want to say how much I appreciate all of you and all of your likes and your comments. They really do help my channel. So thank you guys so much for that. Today's video is going to be part of a collaboration that is all about casserole recipes, and it is hosted by Sarah from Sarah's Realm, and I will have a link to her channel in my description box down below, so don't forget to check her out. And I will also have a link in the description box to the playlist, and you won't want to miss that, of course, because you're going to get to see all the other lovely ladies and the things that they made. I've got two breakfast casseroles for you, and they're two of my favorites, so I hope that you enjoy them, and let's just get started. This first recipe is one of my favorite Crustless Quiche casseroles. To a bowl, I am combining 1/2 cup of flour with 1 teaspoon of baking powder and then 3/4 teaspoon of salt. A recipe that I had from online called for a teaspoon, but I cut it down because I do remember having this before and having it a little bit too salty. And I'm setting that aside. And to another bowl, I've got 10 eggs there that I'm just going to go ahead and whisk until they're nice and fluffy. Now you're going to need 16 ounces of cottage cheese. I'm just using this 4% cottage cheese. You can definitely use low-fat cottage cheese, and just go ahead and add that right into your egg mixture. And then we're going to need some cheese. I have made this before just using Jack, and I've also made it just using cheddar, but today I'm combining half and half, so 4 ounces of Jack cheese and then 4 ounces of cheddar cheese. And I do recommend you use like grate your cheese yourself. It really is so much better, especially with this. And then you're going to go ahead and take 1/2 cup of melted butter, and we're going to go ahead and add that into that flour mixture and just mix it all together until it's nice and smooth. This is going to make pretty much just like a roux. It's going to be like a thickener and like a binding agent for all of the egg mixture. And then we're going to go ahead and add in some diced green chilies. I'm adding in 2 cans of these 4-ounce diced green chilies, so in total 8 ounces. And then you're going to go ahead and add that roux mixture to the egg mixture bowl, and we're just going to go ahead and mix that all together. I kind of did this with a spatula at first just to really get that combined. Then I took my whisk and used that really helped break up like some of those ingredients to get them better incorporated. Now I'm taking my 9x13 baking dish that I went ahead and sprayed with some cooking spray, and I'm going to go ahead and just add that mixture into that. Make sure that it's nice and smoothed out, even layers, best that I can. And I'm going to go ahead and top that with more cheese. Again, I'm using the same 2 cheeses, Jack cheese and cheddar cheese, or I'm using an extra sharp cheddar cheese because that's just my preference. And I'm going to go ahead and top that with an additional 4 ounces of each of those. So in total, another 8 ounces on top of this egg mixture. And don't forget, you can just use whatever cheese you do prefer. I just find these 2 cheeses to be ones that I really love for this. And you're going to go ahead and bake this at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, and then you'll reduce the temperature of your oven to 350 degrees, and then continue to bake this for 35 to 40 minutes, or until your top is nice and brown like mine here. This is really good with sour cream, salsa, or green onions on top like mine here. It's so flavorful and one of my favorite casseroles for breakfast. This last recipe is a Mexican chorizo and potato casserole. To start off, you're going to need a pound of chorizo. I'm just using this kind in the tube here. It's not the Mexican one that's that thicker. I don't know if you know what I mean. I don't even know how to describe it. But there is a different type of chorizo. It's a little bit more of a firmer chorizo. I tend to like this one in these packages that is soft and crumbles very small. So that's what I'm using. You'll need a pound of that, which is 16 ounces. These were 2 9-ounce packages, so 18 ounces, couple extra ounces of chorizo. And I'm just going to go ahead and cook that up until it's nice and crumbled up and cooked through. Then you're going to need a dozen large eggs. I only had jumbo here, so 12. So I actually went 1 less just so that I kind of could make up for the fact that mine were jumbo. I didn't want too much egg mixture. Then to that, I'm going to go ahead and add in 1.5 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of some black pepper. And I'm just going to go ahead and whisk that all together just until the seasonings are nice and blended with that egg. And now you're going to need 2 cups of chunky salsa. I'm just using this one from Aldi. Mine actually was very close to the 2 cups. It was the last of my salsa, so that kind of worked out perfectly. It was very, very close to 2 cups worth. Just go ahead and add that to your egg mixture. Then you'll need 1 cup of Mexican blend cheese. I actually just had some extra sharp cheddar that I needed to use up, so I'm putting a cup of that into this egg mixture, and then I'm again just mixing that all together to kind of get all these ingredients nice and smoothed out a bit before I add in my chorizo. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in that cooked chorizo into this. I like to mix, as you can tell, between ingredients. I really feel like this helps incorporate things better and just make sure that there aren't, like, when I pour this into a casserole dish, that all the chorizo is not in like certain spots. And then you're going to need 30 ounces of hash browns. So I had these potatoes that I got at a really good price, like 60 cents for both bags. And I'm just adding in 30 ounces of those potatoes. And this is where I made a mistake. So I was using these just because I had a sale price, like I got them on a great sale. But I have made this with actual hash browns, which the recipe calls for. And it came out better cooked, basically. So my large chunks of potatoes were a little on the firmer side when baking this, and that's something of course I do not like. No one's gonna like that. So if you're stuck using bigger potatoes, make sure to steam them first, maybe in the microwave for 5 minutes with some water so they're softened first, because that would really help. If you make this if you're just using hash browns, frozen hash browns or defrosted hash browns, you should be perfectly fine. It's always worked out for me that way. And then on top, I'm just adding a half a cup of cheese, and we're baking this at 350 degrees for 1 hour until it's nice and golden brown like this. I served mine with some sour cream and lots of green onions, as you can see there, because I think that's just how amazing it tastes with it. But this is a really good breakfast casserole. I've had it and I love it. It's just those potatoes were on the firmer side. That was kind of disappointing. Definitely a mistake I won't be making again, because this is one of my favorite casseroles for breakfast because it's so yummy. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell, and don't forget to check out the playlist in my description box so you don't miss out on all the other lovely ladies videos.